One NCAA football game mode has been forgotten about, and even though we paid attention to mascot mashup not returning, there's another game mode that's not coming back to College Football 25. Heisman Challenge was something that I rarely touched in NCAA Football 14, and that's because I've already played it with both RG3 and Tim Tebow on this channel before, but there's one specific player I've been ignoring. Doing this with Barry Sanders is going to be almost impossible, because not only do I need to complete these 4 ridiculous challenges in one season, but I also need to win a national championship and a Heisman trophy in this video. If I fail even just one of those challenges, I'll be giving away a copy of College Football 25 to a random commenter, and I don't know if this Oklahoma State roster is going to be good enough since we're projected to finish mid-table in the Big 12, and of course I've also put it on Heisman difficulty. Barry Sanders is one of the best college football running backs of all time, and the problem with Heisman Challenge is I don't call my own plays, so I can only take advantage of whatever the computer gives me. This is already a good juke move on the kickoff though, and this is us getting off to a good start. We're also coming out running the option, and I'm going to ask for him to pitch it to me, but we just fumbled it instead. Mississippi State picks it up, and this is not a good look from quarterback Alan Bowman, with the first stat we're recording with Barry Sanders being a hit stick. Since I can't control our defense, we have to just watch them from the sidelines, and there is just so many things about this video that are going to make it difficult. I don't know what I have signed up for today, but I need to get the ball off of a pitch, and then they took me off the field, but I guess it worked out for us. I have -7 rushing yards with a 99 overall running back, and I think most of our good stats are going to come with me just catching the football like I did right here, also breaking 2 tackles to get into the end zone. That's what you want to see out of Barry Sanders, and I have no idea where we're playing this game. I'm very confused. Apparently it's some sort of special kickoff matchup, but neither of these teams are from Texas, and on 3rd and 9, you know that we're going to have to convert it. In this video, I have got to be greedy if we're going to have any success with Barry, and I've always struggled with running backs on NCAA football, so stuff like the 39 rushing touchdowns in a season seems almost impossible for us to pull off, but that was a great juke move from Barry Sanders. There's just one guy to beat on this right side, and we have avoided him, so this is our first big play of the day. That was really hard to come by. It's super stressful, not only on offense, but to watch our defense. And they even have me returning punts with Barry Sanders, which I guess could work in our favor, but it's not going to help us with any of the challenges. Even if we do pull something off, he's still breaking another tackle, and what a player. I might have underestimated him. So far, he's been pretty solid, but we've lost yardage on like 2/3 of our carries. And out of the backfield on 3rd and 14, I'm definitely open with him. He's going to be able to reel it in for us. But my thought process is he has to get tired at some point, and his fatigue bar rarely goes down. He has to have 99 stamina. If they weren't stacking the box, this could be our 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. I tried to cut it back, but it didn't work, so now we're going to get it on the counter, and I'm going to be even closer. I hurried it up just to make sure that I had another chance, but it didn't work out, and I wish I could audible here, but sometimes you just have to send it. From prior experience, if I don't keep hurrying it up, they're going to take me off the field. So even though this is not an ideal play call down in this situation, I'm going to fight as hard as I can to get my 2nd rushing touchdown, and I think they're going to hold us unless we can push our way in. That took 8 plays, but so far I feel like we're not doing that terribly, and we seem to at least have control of this game. But then I checked our stats. Normally 107 yards and 2 touchdowns at this point in the day would be amazing, but in order to complete the season challenges, we have to average like 200 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns a game, so we still have a very long way to go, and I might have to get us down the field by catching passes. We need breakaway runs, and it looks like we are going to potentially get one right here. Barry Sanders is out in open space, just a couple more guys to beat, and I'm starting to wonder if your stamina perfectly replenishes after every play in the Heisman Challenge, because he's not losing much. I've only played this game mode with quarterbacks before, and those were hard enough. I had to actually pass for less touchdowns with Tim Tebow than I have to rush for with Barry, and now that we're inside the red zone, I think I'm just going to continue to hurry it up with this play. I think the one thing that's really going to hurt us is rushing yards, because I can kind of force us to keep running the ball to get touchdowns, but you all can see this offensive line is not holding up the best for me at all times, and I really messed this one up. Even though we're struggling a little bit though, our defense has actually held it down for us in this game, and if they could do that all season, making a championship might be realistic. We're actually only 6 rushing yards away now from 200, so I am going to hurry it up on a 4th and 3 just to make sure that we get it, and I know there's only a minute left on the clock, but another rushing touchdown would be huge. I've literally gotten 37 carries in this game. We're not going to pick it up, but at least we're going to come away with a big win, and the long season of completing all these challenges has started. Barry Sanders did do a pretty good job at least in this game, but he's going to have to carry a college all the way to a championship that's projected to finish 50th, and I know after we get through these first few favorable matchups, things are going to get even more difficult because we have both Texas and Oklahoma on our schedule. It's nice to win Player of the Weeks from the start, but staying consistent all season's the real challenge, and UTSA is not going to be an easy opponent. I do like as you're loading into all the games, they give you a little bit of information about the player you're using, because now it makes perfect sense why I'm returning kicks with Barry Sanders. I'm going to attempt the back juke here. Normally that move works very well on NCAA football, and number 8 is going to slow us down, but at least we're going to start our first drive around midfield, and if we could just pick up a couple of blocks here, we might have a touchdown on this first play. There's just 2 guys that are tracking us down, and that's enough. I have to run it back. I really like how the blocking looked on that last play, and we're going to get it again. So this is going much better than the Mississippi State game did already, and we're going to get more. I'm definitely going to enjoy the final time playing this game mode. It would have been cool if it was in the new game, but we've heard nothing about it, so I would assume that it's not going to be. They didn't have enough time to put it in. And to be honest, it's really not that important because it's something that you barely touch when you play. I'm not proud of it, but I have 3,000 or 4,000 hours on NCAA Football 14, and during that entire time span, this is only the 3rd time I've hopped into this. I think if anything comes back first, mascot mashup would make a lot more sense, but I'm not even upset that that's not in College Football 25 because I also barely played it. That's one of those game modes that you get nostalgia from because you played it as a kid, but realistically, you only load into it a couple of times a year, and I'd much rather them put more attention on Road to Glory and Dynasty, which I feel like they did. I cannot wait for you all to get College Football 25 in your hands, and we've gotten off to a good start, so I'm hoping that we can keep it up because that would allow us to stay on pace. But Barry Sanders didn't catch the ball there, so now I'm going to have to get it on a punt return after our defense got a stop, and playing in this dome that UTSA's in is honestly really unique. It's a cool one, and we are showing off in front of the fans. Just one more guy to beat, which we were so close to doing, and now our stamina is perfectly replenished. They didn't have me on the field for this play though, so I hope we don't score. And Oklahoma State's decided to run it back in 5 wide. So I set myself up to get a touchdown, but I can't do anything. Our defense kind of made up for it though, getting us the ball back, and I think that one went to Ollie Gordon. So this is just a ridiculous backfield, and we should get a touchdown. These first opponents really aren't that difficult for us to face, but after that's when things get tricky, and we're going to punch it in. By the time I'm back out there on the field in the 3rd quarter, UTSA has gotten 8 points, but we're not in a position where we lose this game. The only thing I want to do is get more rushing yards and maybe get a couple more rushing touchdowns. I'm somehow still up, and they juiced Barry Sanders on this roster because this is on Heisman difficulty. For whatever reason though, in Heisman Challenge, you can't look at your players' ratings. That's back-to-back good spin moves, and I am going to miss that move in the new game because even though it is quicker than it is in Madden, the spin move is a little more realistic than it was in this game, so it is a bit slower. Now we're going to take this handoff though, cut it up to get 8, and this could be the game that we're able to score 5 rushing touchdowns. Just like earlier on in the day though, they took me off the field to watch this, so I hope we don't get in. And now I have my chance to shine. I can get up to 4 right here, but we need Alan Bowman to make the right read, and he did, which isn't going to work out well for us as he goes down at the 1. I honestly thought he was about to take it in himself, but because he didn't, we should get touchdown number 4, and this is a real chance to have 5 rushing touchdowns in a game. We still have to pull it off though, which would be massive because I doubt we're going to get this opportunity against Big 12 schools, and I know you all saw my chop block. I'm putting in work in this game in all sorts of ways. The halfback draw actually got us like 12, and this would be a really bad time for the computer to decide to randomly sub me out. We're getting so close to the end zone, which is why I think we just have to hurry it up, running with this play and taking our 5th tutty. I would even get a few more opportunities to pad my stats even more, getting extra rushing yards. And I don't think this is going to be the day that we're able to get 332 in a game, but we might as well try. I know at this moment we're around 300, and this inside zone is so overpowered, so we're going to continue to run it against them. If we could knock off 2 challenges in one game, that would be absolutely massive. And we just need 10 more yards here, which we are going to almost get, but I don't know if this is going to be enough for Barry Sanders. It looks like we have set a school record, and we did complete 1 challenge in this game, but I do have some bad news as we were 8 yards short. That might have been our best chance to complete that challenge. 332 rushing yards is so difficult, and if we can't do it against an FCS school, we're probably not going to complete it. Right now, we're actually doing better than I thought, staying on track to complete these challenges, but we need to win a national championship as well, and we're not even in the top 25 yet. We're just receiving votes, so you know that if we lose any game this season, we're not going to make the national championship because on this game mode, only 2 teams do. I guess that's always going to be true. I said that in the wrong way, but what I meant by it is there's no 12-team playoff, so we have to finish the season as a top 2 team on this file. Somehow Northern Illinois has already played 16 games and only won 3 of them, so their defense has to be exhausted. This is our chance to get 332 yards. I still think if we can't complete that challenge in this game, we're just not going to complete it, and we just keep pushing it down the field, but they're starting to stack the box out of fear. I mean, this is ridiculous. There's so many defenders down in the box, so now we have to let Ollie Gordon go to work instead, and that was not a good block either. This has not been a great first drive. We've wasted a lot of time on the clock. The halfback screen gets stopped, and I didn't think Northern Iowa was going to give us any issues. I'm sure we'll eventually figure it out at some point, and I did not mean to hit the spin move there. I did on this one though, and it has cleared a lot of space. Surely Barry Sanders can outrun this one defender, and that's going to help our rushing yard total a ton in this game. Our defense also got a pick 6 for a touchdown, but it just hit me. If we get too big of a lead, they're going to pull pull Barry Sanders, so we better make the most of all the snaps that we're out there on the field for, and there's just one defender to beat. I'm going to swerve inside. That was the right decision to make, and Barry Sanders is getting us off to a great start. I told you all this was our one chance to get a lot of rushing yards. This is the time to do it, because we're never going to face a 63 overall team again, but we're only halfway to our goal, and this is going to help us out. If we could have gotten a block, we should have gotten in right there. I don't know what he was doing, but at least we're going to do it on the next play. And approaching halftime, we are up by so much right now. I'm not even going to call for the ball. I'm not going to be greedy. We're still going to get a big gain. But what's really important is Barry Sanders already has over 200 rushing yards, and I know that he's probably going to get benched sometime in the second half, so we have to make the most out of this drive, not only scoring a touchdown, but getting all the yards. If we do that, we'd have 243 going into the half. We're getting closer, and I just don't know when coach is going to pull Barry being up by 38 points. I'm going to be so salty if he doesn't touch the field in the third quarter, but it looks like he's out there so far, and all we need is another 100 yards. We could probably get like 60 or 70 on this drive, which would be very nice. He's still breaking tackles, and I'm glad that I've gone into this game mode because I almost didn't want to do this for a video. There's not much time before the new game drops, and there's still stuff that I want to do, but I think this is a nice farewell video to this game mode, and the challenges we have put me in a hard position. I still don't know how I'm going to complete all 6. They took me out on 3rd and 4, but eventually you got to put the best player back in the game, and I feel like this Barry Sanders plays better than the juiced running back I used with the perfect halfback video. Somehow we fumbled it though, and Northern Iowa's going to pick it up. I can't even catch the guy. I just got knocked over, and what a terrible play from our whole team. That could really help us though, so Barry Sanders doesn't get pulled for it being a blowout, and I'm just going to run a halfback angle route on 3rd and 6 that got wide open. I think we need about 60 more yards in this game to break that challenge, but we have a quarter, so surely we can make it happen in that time frame. I actually got open, so I might as well take advantage of it. The defender also couldn't bring me down. I'm gonna go out of bounds at the 1, but apparently there was a penalty on us, so even though I set myself up to get another rushing touchdown, it's not gonna happen. We probably shouldn't have gotten yards through the air though receiving, so maybe this is best case scenario. That's a beautiful juke to the outside, and Barry Sanders is so close to 332 yards, but I didn't think we were gonna have a chance to get it until they put me back on the field with a couple minutes left, and I can't believe they pulled Barry, but at least he's gonna have an opportunity on this play to get close, putting him at 332 yards exactly, but Alan Bowman keeps it and there's only a minute left. All we have to do is get one right here. I cannot believe it came down to the final seconds, but it's going to happen, and you never know in a game when coach is going to pull you, but at least we got back in to get those rushing yards. That was such a close call, but it's also going to help us a ton in this challenge because we've knocked that one off, leaving us with just these 4 left. That's probably going to be the best performance that we get out of Barry Sanders. But before we continue playing Barry Sanders' career, a word from Raycon, today's video sponsor. You may have heard me talk about Raycon earbuds before, mentioning the same audio quality that you'd expect out of the big guys, but at a way better price, and I can vouch for them considering I use them all the time to work out and they never fall out. Raycon has sold 3 million of their flagship everyday earbuds, so you know that they're a fan favorite in the audio space, and I'm a huge fan of their fitness earbuds, which I actually have in right now since I'm about to go work out, that take everything you love from their everyday earbuds and optimize it for any workout. They're sweat resistant, the on-device controls make them easy to use on the move, and their gel fins are designed to fit comfortably in your ears while never falling out, so they already sound great, but I also love that they have a 56-hour battery life since I always forget to charge things. I'm kinda boring, so I just got a black case, but their capsule charging cases are also available in a ton of different colors, and right now Raycon's fitness products, including their fitness earbuds, are 20% off for a limited time. They offer a 30-day happiness guarantee, so what are you waiting for? Go ahead, see what all the fuss is about, and click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/board to get 20% off all fitness products, which also comes with free shipping. It supports both myself and my channel in the process too. And let's get back to carrying Oklahoma State with Barry Sanders. He definitely deserves a bye week after that, and I would be so upset if we lost the Heisman Trophy to somebody like Kyle McCord. We opened up the season how we needed to. We're already in the top 25, but we still have a lot of things that we have to accomplish, and with 6 teams ranked in the AP poll, I'm not sure if we're going to come out on top of the Big 12. We got so unlucky with our schedule that we have to play every single one of them, and I don't think the Big 12 had a conference championship game back in 2013. That's one less game for us to put up good numbers, and this is where the tough matchups begin, starting on the road at West Virginia. Whenever I've done these road to glories before, it's always a lot harder to score against teams like this, but Barry Sanders might actually just be that good. There's only one guy to beat, and there was no chance he was catching him. I mean, they would respond back pretty quickly, but I can't complain about it because we got the start we were looking for. And on a 3rd and 10, I'm going to try to find the open space in the defense, but I think we're going to be short. Luckily for us, they wouldn't score. We got the ball back, and Alan Bowman should have a lot of green grass in front of him on that side of the field, but if that was me, we probably would have been able to take it to the crib, and I'm stuck. I feel like I either break off a huge run or only get a couple of yards. There doesn't seem to be much in between, but they stopped us before we could get too much on that last play, and I did fake him out with the play action. Good moves from Blaine Green, keeping us in a position where we're were threatening to score against the Mountaineers. And I can't believe how fast this first half has gone by. There's only a few minutes left in it. So you can already see that we're not dominating games like we were before. And on 2nd and 6, Barry Sanders has a couple of defenders that are going to tackle him. I don't like this play call on 3rd and 7 either. We're going to have to kick a field goal. And this is not how I wanted to end the first half. Garrett Green's injured too, so this is happening against a backup quarterback with them driving down the entire field to take a lead on us. They would miss the extra point though, so that could come back to bite them. And I know we're not going to run the ball with a minute left in the quarter, but we could get in field goal range. I'm going to have to make stuff happen as a running back out of the backfield, but I'm not getting targets. And now it looks like coach wants us to take it to the end of the first half, but I'm going to go for a big play here, and that's going to change a lot. Now we're out there in 4 verts. Now we're being a little bit more aggressive, but Alan Bowman just didn't have enough time back there in the pocket, and that's swatted. I told you all that we are going to struggle against these bigger teams. I messed that run up. And it's still so weird playing this game after playing College Football 25. We're here on the road at a 3-1 team. We're a ranked school, but you don't feel the environment. And that's a big change that you're going to notice in the new game. I don't think we're going to pick up this 3rd and 3 though. So we're going to have to punt it back to the Mountaineers. And I'm just glad that our defense stepped up. Now I'm going to have a chance at a punt return with Barry Sanders, which could always work out in our favor. We haven't had one yet. And it looks like our coach wants us to come out passing the ball. I really don't like how we've looked in this one so far. We are going to break a tackle though. That's a nice little run. And here on 3rd and 4, the halfback angle route is open, but they're going to say I am short. I really don't know why we're trying so hard to block their punts, but now I have nobody back here to help block for me, and I'm also going to fumble it. So our offense has gone from one of the best in the country to one of the worst, only scoring 10 points against them. And this is what I was talking about with it being hard to stay consistent all year. Those first few games probably made this seem a lot easier than it's going to be. And these play calls are starting to drive me nuts. We just need one of our wide receivers to get open on 3rd and 8, and I guess it's me. But time is ticking. This counter run could have set up nicely, and instead our offensive line just let him penetrate the hole. They're filling up the gap so quickly. I'm not even out there on the field for this pass that was almost picked off, but we ended up bringing it in. That was a pleasant surprise. They got man-to-man coverage out there on the field now, and I am already sick of playing with Alan Bowman. He is not great. I watched him in real life this year going to UCF and put up like 0 points, and now we have to kick the game-tying field goal. Thank goodness our defense got a stop around midfield. I still don't have any blockers though, and this is going out of bounds, so we have to go 88 yards down the field to score a touchdown. And what did I do? I always end up getting frustrated when I play these modes because of the lack of control, and I know how important it is that we don't lose a single game in this playthrough. If this one run play is going to gash them like that though, I might just continue to hurry it up, and I might be hitting the R2 button a little bit too soon. I'm going to try slowing it down next time I take a handoff. We're going to complete this for 5, and we have to pick up this 3rd and 2 or else we're not going to keep our drive alive. All we need is a field goal now, and we've put ourselves in a decent position. I feel like we should be able to come away with that here, but I'm not sure what our kicker's range is, and we have to keep getting yardage. If Alan Bowman throws an interception now, I promise I'm going to lose my mind, but he seems to be doing all right, and I will take this for a couple of yards. With only 20 seconds left, we have to be a little bit careful about the clock, but I only have 1 rushing touchdown now, so I need to get another. I don't know why I didn't just try to truck my way in there. We're still going to score, and that means we're going to get our 4th win of the year, but that was a really tough battle and our worst stats yet. Those are the type of wins that are going to keep gaining us respect though, and I'm pretty sure we face Kansas State next, so this is going to be one of the toughest opponents that we've had to play, even if they have already lost a conference game. On the bright side, at least we get to host this one, and Oklahoma State has so many jersey combos. We might get to use a different one in every game this season, and until I read that menu screen loading into the game, I had no idea Barry Sanders didn't start his senior year in high school. He had to wait 4 games before even getting out there on the field, but it kind of makes sense. He was small for a running back. The game says he's only 5'8" in college, and we're just going to continue to pound it down their throats with him getting more yards. Now they want us to pass the ball, and we had so many different players open on this next play, but to complete all of our season challenges, we have to make sure that we keep getting rushing touchdowns, and our last game was the first time that we didn't get the numbers I was hoping for to stay on pace. We get in here, but it wasn't with Barry, and we've basically already reached the end of the first quarter. It's kind of odd to be coming out in goal line this early on in the game at this point of the field as well, but I am about to get free, and that could have been such a big moment for us. It's not going to be easy to take down Kansas State. I think it would propel us up into at least the top 15 though, and after being marked short, we had to punt it back to them, but our defense gets the stop, and Oklahoma State Stadium honestly looks amazing from this camera angle. It's kind of incredible how well NCAA Football 14 holds up, and this is the power run play that has worked for some huge gains against other teams, but it isn't against this Kansas State defense where we have to punt it again. I have to say though, I am impressed by 2 different things: how many stops our defense gets and how many times the coach just puts it in Barry Sanders' hand to run the ball. Whenever we get in 3rd and long situations, we should be passing the ball, but we don't. And the AI in this game makes no sense because on a 2nd and inches, we decided to throw it. I didn't even call for the ball there. Hopefully, Alan Bowman is able to pick it up and just pitch it to me. But no, that would have made way too much sense in that situation. And there's just 90 seconds left in the first half. Now this inside zone could work wonders for us. That is why I like that play call so much, because we are gone. Now, unfortunately, the Wildcats would respond back pretty quickly, and we're not going to get anything. So going into the second half, we're only going to be up by 4 points, but maybe we could pull something off here. Just one more block that we have to pick up, and that is what you want to see out of Barry Sanders. There's a reason that I wanted to try to get one more run play in, and I can't believe he just did that. What he's done on his last 2 plays is what I've been waiting for to happen all game. And this entire second half's just going to be about maintaining our lead, but we should be passing on 3rd down. If our defense didn't force an interception inside the red zone, we'd be in trouble. And I never know what the computer is going to give us, so I like to stay up by 2 possessions. Things can always change in an instant, and this halfback screen isn't going to work. So I figured the Wildcats would at least get 3 points, and that's what they did. It's not the end of the world, though. There's only 4 minutes left in the game now, so the 3rd quarter went by extremely quick, and we just need a couple of blocks. This could be our first return for a touchdown, and I think Barry Sanders is completely gone. That is what we needed. It's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but after we got another turnover, it's going to seal the game. And at this rate, I'm just trying to pad my stats because we're going to need it to complete some of those challenges. I think we only have 2 rushing touchdowns, so a 3rd would be very nice, but that's terrible blocking. I still don't know how we got 39 rushing touchdowns in a season. That is just nuts. And we have to play it smart, making sure that we win the game. In the end, we'd rush for like another 20 or 30 yards, so we padded our stats a bit, but it's going to help us a lot. 5 games in, we're almost halfway to completing those 2 hard challenges. And if we can make those happen, the Heisman Trophy is probably also a guarantee. I mean, there's just no chance that any of these guys are going to catch Barry Sanders. But what could hurt us is we might not even make the BCS National Championship if all these teams stay undefeated. Not only do we have to continue to win out, but we probably have to win all these games by a lot. And I have a feeling that the TCU one, the Kansas one, the Texas one, and the Oklahoma one might give us a lot of issues. Almost every team we face is the same overall or better than us. And this stat is nuts to me because he had a season low of 156 yards and 2 scores. Barry Sanders' college career was like no other. And with the rain coming down hard, that could actually really help us. After being taken out on 2nd down though, we're already on a 3rd and long, and that is going to be a great route from Sanders. So we're getting closer to midfield, and we just have to go down. Teams are going to start adjusting to the fact that we just run the ball 40 times a game. And with College Football 25's new wear and tear system, this would not be possible on that new game. It's not like Barry Sanders is the same size as Derrick Henry, so we can't withstand as many hits, and how on earth was this not ruled a fumble? I didn't think Bowman would give it to us there. He rarely does, but now we're going to get a huge play, and we just continue to work it down the field. I was also open, but he didn't see me, so that stinks. And why are we running a toss play to the short side? At least it worked for us, and this is a rare time where I see players coming back to help block for me. I might be able to pull off a punt return. I don't know what happened to the lights, but this game is dark. We're playing at nighttime, we're playing in the rain, and we have to make something happen. I mean, we had a pretty solid first quarter, but in the grand scheme of things, a 7-point lead is almost nothing against a good team. And I'm sure TCU's gonna eventually figure things out offensively, so we need more. 62 rushing yards isn't terrible, but we haven't had a breakaway run yet. And remember, we need like 200 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns every game. It might just come here though, as we have gotten the power run, and come on. We don't even get to be out there for 3rd down, which is more frustrating. And that punt puts us out of field goal range, so we just have to punt it back to the Horned Frogs. Something about our defense keeps getting the job done though, and we play in the Big 12, so I was not thinking that was going to happen. I thought these would be like 42-point games. And ideally, this would be the final drive of the first half where we could finish it going up 14-0, but I can't turn on Chew Clock and Heisman Challenge, so I just have to hope that we use all the time, and that's not going to happen. We're scoring a touchdown on this play. TCU was bound to work it down the field at some point as well. The 3rd and 7 is going to be a touchdown, but I feel like you can't ignore the 50 seconds that's left on the clock, and we're going to make 2 different players miss, and this 3rd guy brings us down. That should be enough for our coach to want us to push it down the field though, and that is a great throw. If I can make this block, we're going to score a touchdown. So that's why you have to make the most of the time that you're given, and we even have another chance with 10 seconds left in the half to pull off maybe a punt return. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know. We're in range to get off a Hail Mary, and we don't get it out. It was still a really solid first half though, and we're just going to continue to pound the rock, which means if TCU can't get a stop on this drive, it is probably over. And once we get up by a certain amount, I'm going to stop showing as many plays because they're just not as important, as this one is almost already over. I mean, there's like nothing the Horned Frogs can do. They haven't stopped us on offense. We keep picking up first downs, and with a few minutes left, we're still up by 21 points, going for another rushing touchdown. Our last one was through the air, so that's why I want to punch it in, and then I'd end the game with another 66-yard rushing touchdown. So it's safe to say Barry Sanders put up some insane insane numbers. He almost had another 300 rushing yard game, and that was against a top 25 team, so they had to put us up to number 3 in the polls. He might just take a Player of the Week award every time he touches the field, so even if he didn't do anything the rest of the year, I would say the Heisman is his. And what's crazy is these would be amazing stats for a full season, but we're only 6 games deep. Now we only need to average like 140 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns a game, so that increases our odds of completing most of the challenges besides the national championship one. If we lose any one of these 6 games, we're not going to be a top 2 team, and if we don't have a conference championship, we need other schools to lose. After the conditions that we experienced in our last matchup, I'm thrilled to be out in the sun again, but on 3rd and 7, we have to pick this up, and we don't. Luckily for us, this Oklahoma State defense is insane, and on the punt return, we almost might have this. I think we're going to, actually. I wasn't sure if we'd get the blocks that we needed, but Barry Sanders is gone. It would probably make sense to be a part of more special teams plays, and if we could win the Jet Award along with winning like a Heisman Trophy and all the other ones, that would be absolutely nuts. If you don't know, the Jet Award goes to the #1 kick returner in the country, and now on 2nd and 5, I'm just going to take this halfback dive up the middle, but with his speed, we might get around almost the entire defense here. Iowa State's only an 83 overall, which is one of the worst teams we faced, so it doesn't even stress me out when they take me off the field and give me a breather, because from what I've seen so far, we're going to be just fine in this matchup. We're about to go up 14-0, and just looking at the back of the end zone, playing in the Cyclone Stadium is so cool. It's a shame that all those fans have to witness this speeding, because that background is honestly really dope. They have fans on the hillside, and could we get another punt return? I would have liked a block from that teammate. I don't think we're going to get around all of them, but we've set ourselves up in the right position, and Barry Sanders is going to get another first down. It feels like once we go up by a few scores, we should be fine to get the win against them, but we're never guaranteed to open up against every team like this, and that speed is just nuts to witness. He's also breaking tackles, but my stick work got me pulled for a play, and we still can't punch it in. We're just a few yards short of 100 yards right now, and they're going to hold us, but I've hurried it up because I want another chance, and there we go. I mean, there has to be something going around in the state of Iowa that just makes all these colleges allergic to good offense. They only have 3 points against us, and even though Barry Sanders hasn't been involved in getting us down the field on this drive, he could be the one that finishes it off and puts us up by 25. This is going to be that play. I am actually a little bit impressed that the Cyclones eventually scored, but we're just going to keep on moving it. Alan Bowman's fighting for a lot, and you gotta love all the options that we have here on 3rd and 10. I really appreciate the diversity there, just 3 straight halfback draws, but maybe that's because our coach knew that he wanted to go for it on 4th and 5 anyway, and Barry Sanders is going to be short. It's not going to matter that I made a terrible decision to spin there though, because they had a quick 3 and out, another chance for a punt return, and I don't think that's happening. The rest of this game's just been so boring. On 4th and 10, they literally handed it off, and I've been trying to run out as much clock as I can, but we haven't broke away on any huge runs until we might do that here, which wouldn't happen, and I'm basically just ready for this one to end. We're not going to get the first down, but we all know that's not going to make a difference because we still won 28-10, and Barry Sanders got the numbers that he needed. In 3 of our last 5 games, we still have to face the Sooners, the Jayhawks, and the Longhorns, so I'm hoping that's enough to propel us over either Florida State, Ohio State, or LSU, but I'm starting to get worried that even if we complete all our challenges, we might not make the national championship. I don't want to deal with any setbacks like Barry Sanders did in college, because that'd be a guarantee that we're not winning at all, and we are on the road again. Texas Tech is one of those programs that doesn't scare me too much. I thought I had the ball, but I didn't, and on 3rd and 12, they literally have me blocking, which I didn't do a great job of. Even when they stop us though, we get the ball back so quick. I really don't know how we continue to do it this way. Maybe we get the punt return too. I'm coming close to the edge, but there weren't enough blockers helping me out, and I messed this one up. 2nd and 12, this time the handoff is also not going to work, so Texas Tech is putting us in a lot of 3rd and long situations, and I have to respect it. They'd even score a touchdown, which puts the pressure on us here at the end of the first quarter. We're trailing 7-0, and this is not going to be a return unless we can break that tackle. I was feeling so confident going into every game until I saw how this one started out, and there's the Barry Sanders that we know and love. We finally got one to work, busting it out to the outside, and after ending the first quarter like that, our defense would get us the ball back again, and Barry Sanders was almost gone. I might have taken the wrong angle there, but it isn't the end of the world, and it's probably a good thing that Alan Bowman didn't pitch it, but those 2 bad plays have made it 3rd and 15 for us, and I called for the ball. I didn't get it, so we got held again, but it's all good. We're getting the ball back with 2 minutes left in this first half, and I think if I hit the back juke here and then go to the right side, we might have been gone until I got tripped up. And that is so frustrating. We had it set up perfectly. I couldn't tell you why we're calling timeouts with 2 minutes left on this side of the field either. But the AI has a fun way of working in this game, and we still get the first. Now we are going to have to start airing it out, which means I probably won't get as many targets. But I didn't even call for it there, and Alan Bowman got it out. That time I did, and he didn't pass it. So maybe it's better to not spam the catch button, and this is going to get us 8 more. I need to chill out with the spin moves, though. They're not working as well. And I've been pulled off the field with 30 seconds left in the quarter. I hope we can at least get a field goal. But I don't know. With how the AI works in this game, I could be wrong about that. They're going to continue to hurry it up. So there's a chance they do something really dumb here. 7 seconds left on the clock now, and that is going to be picked off. Going into the second half being tied at 7-7 is not what I would have loved to see, but it's not the end of the world. We're still playing against a team that's worse than us. And you'd have to assume that the floodgates will open up soon. I mean, we're bound to break off another big run or two. It could even be on this play, but it wasn't, and I have to watch this 3rd and 2 over from the sidelines that we're going to easily convert on. I feel like 50% of my carries recently are on halfback draws, and that makes it so hard to get a lot of yards, but this is an inside zone play call that is probably going to be used to get us all the way down to the end zone. I don't see why I wouldn't do that. If we aren't hurrying it up, we're going to get stuck with something that I don't want to run. And Barry Sanders is losing almost no stamina even though he's been in for 5 plays. That does not happen in a normal road to glory. It has to be just for the Heisman Challenge. And we've done exactly what I said we were going to do on this drive. This is how it's possible to complete every video challenge. But eventually they were going to pick up on it, and on 3rd and goal, we're in. Now that we have a 7-point lead, I don't feel the need to do that on this drive as well. We can run some newer plays. We might even have a punt return go in our favor if I could get to the left side of the field, but I got caught up and there was a clipping penalty. I'm actually glad I went down where I did now, because if I would have returned that for a touchdown and then I saw the penalty flag, I would have been so upset, but we are crushing it. And a score on this drive would put us in a very good position against Texas Tech. There's still a minute left in the 3rd quarter. I mean, there's plenty of time in the game, but with the way our defense is playing, a 2-possession lead's like a 4-possession one, and there's another 15. I'm really thankful that we had those big games to start the year too, because now I'm not as stressed to put up certain numbers in every performance. We should just get those stats either way, and they are going to bring us down. Barry Sanders just got thrown around like a rag doll. And I don't know why our coach wants to go for it on 4th and 8 instead of kicking the field goal, but it is going to fail. This is what I'm talking about. Even though we felt like we were in control, we could literally be in a tie game if this pass goes the right way. And thank goodness our DB just swatted that down, because it could have been bad. Now we just have to try to get through as much clock as we can without having 2 clock on. And as long as we get in field goal range, that would be enough for this team. The problem with that is it feels like unless we're inside the 20-yard line, our coach doesn't want us to kick, and that is what we needed out of Barry Sanders. He has taken it down to the 7. So now I'm feeling a lot more confident, and we're going to go all the way to the 1. This is his 34th carry, so he's taken a load today, but he was begging for it, and we're going to give it to him again. Unfortunately, though, the Red Raiders responded back. And even though I'm on the field, I can't be a part of this onside kick recovery, so thankfully we picked it up, and now we should just be 1 first down away from sealing it. Barry Sanders breaks 1, 2 tackles, and what should have been a 2-yard loss turned into a 4-yard gain, and that is pretty much it. The only thing that could cause us to lose from here is because the computer's just not that smart. So instead of running 30 seconds off of the clock, they're going to decide to hike the ball here, and as long as we keep picking up first, we're going to be fine. He's actually getting a tutty. And there we go. That's exactly how I wanted to end that matchup. You couldn't ask for a better performance than that out of your running back, and we just need 600 more rushing yards with 9 touchdowns, alongside finishing the regular season undefeated. And then we've done all that we can to make it to the national championship. But if Ohio State or LSU don't lose, I think we're still going to be stuck at number 3. All we can do is just keep on winning. And I highly doubt that we're going to do to Kansas what Barry Sanders did when he was in college, as we've already thrown a pick. I mean, at least they'd only get a field goal, but Alan Bowman did not open this one up in the right way. And it would be amazing if we could have a breakaway run from the start, but I don't see that occurring. Kansas is actually good on this game, as they're an 88 overall team just like us, but that player wasn't able to make a tackle on Barry. And if he can continue to get 10 yards a pop, we're going to be just fine. On 3rd and inches, Alan Bowman is going to give it to Ollie Gordon. And I'm glad that we're going for it on 4th and 4, but I need him to throw it over to me. And what is Alan Bowman even doing? I spammed the catch button from the start of the play, but he just wouldn't give it to me. Now we have to get it back on this punt return where they catch me. And I don't know if we're going to be able to take down Texas or Oklahoma with him at QB. Here on 3rd and 7, I don't have a route out there on the field, so all I could do was block. But we picked it up, and now they're giving us the inside zone play call. So you know exactly what I want to do. I want to spam this inside zone play. I couldn't bust it to the outside, and Barry Sanders just dropped the football. They've picked it up, and there's no way we're catching him. What a terrible start. I can't believe we're already losing like this. I thought this was going to be an easy win for us, but it is not. And if we're running a halfback draw, it's just not going to work. This is exactly what I was afraid of, playing against better teams. And they've already gotten us to a 3rd and 10 where the halfback screen did get open, but they have 4 guys over here. They'd score again too, but they missed the extra point, so it's 16-0, which only makes it a 2-possession game instead of a 3, and I will definitely take it. We're not in a good spot, but this This was bound to happen at some point. Barry Sanders can't single-handedly carry this team to a win in every single game. And it's been turnovers, not even our defense giving up all the points. With 2 minutes left in the first half, we have started to move it down the field pretty well though. And we're running the same play again where Alan Bowman pitches it, and that is all that we needed. I wish I could guarantee that this was the final drive of the half, but our coach is calling timeouts. So there's no way that we're going to run out the last 90 seconds, even if we scored a little bit later, and Barry Sanders does it here. We aren't going to chase any points though. So I'm relieved that the Jayhawks are punting it back to us with a minute left in the first half. Our defense stepped up, getting another stop. We could even get more points here, and this is going to go for quite a few yards from Barry. Now the play calling is still very questionable. We should be in 4 verts right now. I'm going to try to just get out of bounds, but that didn't happen, and I am wide open in the flat, so they are going to hit me, and we still aren't out. This actually stinks because we have no timeouts left. I am going to kind of make the block, but Alan Bowman throws another interception here, and don't tell me they're about to break free. To make matters worse, they might have even gotten into field goal range. It'd be awesome if I could have returned this, but just a terrible first half all around from everybody on this team. They also started the third quarter with a touchdown, so it feels like it's over. We have a long way to go if we're going to come back in this game, and I don't know where our air raid offense is at. That's what it said our playbook was, but we never throw it. Normally I'm okay with that, but right now we have got to be in a hurry, and the halfback screen is going to potentially go for a lot. Barry Sanders just made a great move on that play, and another one too, but the problem is we're still trailing by 15, and I don't even know what just happened there. We have fumbled it away again. Now luckily for us, they missed a 33-yard field goal, because that would have definitely ended it, but we just don't have much hope left in this game. Maybe we could pick up a couple of blocks here. There's just one guy to beat, and you have to feel bad for Barry Sanders because he is trying his best to just take down the Jayhawks, but the rest of his team hasn't showed up today. Alan Bowman's had one of the worst performances that he's had all season. He could have pitched it there, but with the way he's been handling the ball, it's probably best that he didn't. And can we please stop running? This is not the time for it. If we score and don't get the 2-point conversion, we're still going to be behind by 2 possessions, and I don't know if I trust our defense to even come away with a stop. I'm very worried that we're about to lose, but you just have to persevere, stay in hurry up mode, punch it into the end zone, and come on, we just have to get like 6 more inches here, which we do. The 2-point conversion's also a running play, and I forgot that I can use reaction time in this, but even though I thought that would help us, it didn't at all. We're trailing by 9 points, getting the ball back with 3 minutes left, and I think it's done. We are going to break 1 tackle there, but that's it. The only thing left that even gives me the tiniest bit of hope is the fact that we still have all 3 of our timeouts, but the coach always likes to automatically call them, so I'm a little bit worried that's going to happen. Since this is a cover 2, I feel like we could probably beat them deep, but they keep throwing it to me instead, and that zone isn't coming down and playing me quick enough. Instead, they're trying to guard one of our wide receivers going deep, but that's fine. Whatever it takes for us to get into the end zone without our coach calling a timeout, I will take. And here we go. This is the game. On 3rd and 8, Jason Bean gets it out, but we're going to make the tackle. So we are getting the ball back with a minute and a half left, down by 2. I cannot believe that this is about to happen. This is not over yet. I thought we were completely done. Now I have to hope that Alan Bowman doesn't do something stupid, which is very likely. He takes the sack, and I cannot believe that that just happened. He did get this one out quick enough though. So it's 3rd and 1. He's going to have to do that again, and he doesn't. This is what I'm talking about, not having enough control, and that is definitely going to be short, but they're saying we got enough to stop the clock, so I'm not going to complain, and I don't even know where this ball is right now. Somehow we've caught it down at the 10-yard line. We have no timeouts left. We need to make sure we don't go down in bounds, and there's no way we just fought into the end zone. I had no impact on any of that. I didn't know what was going to happen, but we have escaped with another win, and if we don't make the national championship after all of that, I am going to be speechless and very mad. LSU lost on the road at Alabama though, so we have moved up to number 2, and Kentucky's Ray Davis is having a good year, but it's nothing compared to us. We're getting very close to completing those 2 other season challenges, and we all know that I'm going to be sitting atop of the Heisman watch, but these last few games determine a lot, especially since we're about to play Texas and Oklahoma. Now is not the time to lose, but we have to travel to DKR, and I'm glad that they're only getting a field goal on their first drive, because in order to beat them, we might have to score on every single one. You can already tell that their defense is coming out very hungry against us, and on 3rd and 9, they are going with man-to-man coverage. I have beat that guy though, or at least I thought I did. They drive down the field against us, but they'd only score another field goal, which isn't the end of the world, and I feel like this should already be 4-down territory if I'm not able to catch this, but I did. That was a very fast first quarter, and normally whenever it's a read option, I try to change the play call, but I'm not going to do that in this game. As long as he doesn't have to pitch it, Alan Bowman does all right with them, and this is the exact type of play that could carry us all the way down to the end zone. I didn't hit that hole right, but if I did, I think I'd get a lot more yards, so what I'm going to do is be a little bit more patient, start cutting it back to that left side, and there we go. I have to cheese against the Longhorns if we're going to be able to take them down, or else I can guarantee we'd lose. But then, of course, there was a penalty, so Texas forced us to call a new play. Surprisingly, though, so far, their offense hasn't been that great. They have gotten into field goal range twice, but that 3rd drive drive didn't work out for them, and now, with this punt return, Barry Sanders just has a couple of guys to beat. And please tell me we can get around him. I see the flag. Go ahead, bring it all the way back. And that is very disappointing. It came so late on that return. I don't think we should be this far back. I could be completely wrong though, and now Barry Sanders almost bounced it to the outside. But having any type of breakaway run against them is going to be hard because this is probably going to be the best defense we face all year. On 3rd and 5, I am open in the flat, and Alan Bowman is going to hit me, which is very clutch. I also was able to juke a guy out and then swerve inside. But I can't hot route myself, so I just have to block on a lot of these passing plays. We're also calling timeouts for no reason, so we should just get into the end zone now if we want a chance to score even more points before the half. It isn't going to happen, but we came kind of close, and now we have to get 10 more yards. Ideally, if they're not in a cover 2, I'm going to be wide open and Alan Bowman sees me. But they scored in less than a minute than I thought they would. At least they didn't get the 2-point conversion. We're still up by 2 points against the Longhorns, and we do have a little bit of time. Now, the issue is I can't run a route here, so we just have to hope that Alan Bowman doesn't turn it over. I made a good block, though, and I wouldn't see the field again until this 3rd and 10 where I am not going to get the ball, and we're not in field goal range. I wish there was something that I could do on this Hail Mary, but no matter what, they're going to try to throw it up to the end zone that's not caught. And we're going to have a battle here if we want to come out on top, but maybe we could start off the second half the right way. And at least if we are able to reach the end zone again, that would give us a 2-possession lead over the Longhorns. I'm doing the same thing that I did in the first half, just running a hurry-up offense on this inside zone play call. And I'll keep on doing that until they stop us in the backfield, but it's probably not going to happen. This has been the most consistent our offense has been throughout this entire playthrough. And it's only when I have the ball running inside zone over and over. It's really working though, as they are punting it back to us again. And this is the same type of thing that's going to happen whenever Kentucky plays at Texas this year at DKR. At least I hope so. I'm a little bit delusional, but that's just how it has to be. They play at the end of the season, so if Kentucky still has a shot at the playoffs somehow by then, I promise I will be at that game, and I really want to go out to Texas. I've never been there before. I really haven't been anywhere out west at all. I think the farthest would be like Missouri, and that was a vacation spot in my childhood like every year. Looking back on it, it was kind of an odd place to vacation, but it was great, and if we get this 2-point conversion, we'd be in such a good spot. Well, even if we mess that up, they're still punting it back to us with just a minute left in the quarter. And you know the drill now. I'm just going to try to run out as much clock as I can. I feel like we've done a pretty good job on that. We've already had multiple different possessions, but eventually they'd have success again, and on the 2-point conversion, they are short. That is actually a really big deal because if we get this onside kick, it's pretty much over. And it would be really hard for us to blow this game even if we didn't pick up this 3rd and 6, but we do. By now, Texas has used all 3 of their timeouts, and the clock management is absolutely atrocious. But if it's going to be that way, we might as well go for another touchdown. Our blockers didn't pick that guy up, but now on this 4th and 10, we're going to come close. And I'm just glad that we were able to take down Texas. It wasn't easy, but we had almost 300 rushing yards, and we're getting very close to getting the total number of rushing yards this season that we need. The ACC is a conference championship too, so there's still an opportunity for Florida State to jump us. And I'm pretty confident that we can beat the Bears, but after that, our matchup against Oklahoma to end the regular season is going to be tough. It'd be really cool if we could just start one of these games off with a kick return just to open it up 7-0 from the start. That's a decent juke move, and we did have those 2 guys get tripped over each other, but unfortunately, eventually some other players would bring us down. And with the read option, they're always going to bite on me keeping the ball, so Alan Bowman has to get a lot here. I don't love that I'm not the player that's supposed to be catching this ball on 3rd down. They're going to hit the halfback screen. And even though Ollie Gordon's one of the best running backs in the country, he lost 4 yards on that play. Our defense is always going to get us stops, though. I can pretty much rely on them consistently, so we should be just fine. Baylor's only an 81 overall. They've really fallen off in the last couple of seasons, and this is our first big run of the day. If there's anything we can take away from this game, we just have to get ready for our matchup against Oklahoma, another big one from Barry. And we can probably just spam this inside zone play call, but they had good defense on that one, and they seem to be filling the gap. I am not going to be happy if we only get a field goal out of this drive, but that might be the case. And I decided it was best to just hurry it up and then call for the ball down in the flat for the tutty. I know I still need 4 rushing touchdowns to complete this video's challenge. That was a huge truck from Barry Sanders, by the way. He almost got out of there. But anyway, I still have plenty of time to get more touchdowns, and I might even get 4 rushing ones in this game. It shouldn't be too difficult to break off a really big run, but I must have gotten injured because I didn't get back until this one. And they are stacking the box versus Barry Sanders. They do not want to see him pick up anything, but he still gets it. I'm starting to really miss the ability to throw the ball. We've now played a full season without that, and it takes forever to get down the field when I can just run it. I mean, I guess I can also catch passes, and that could work right here, but I can't get another receiving touchdown. Please don't fight in. And that really stinks thinks I wanted a rushing touchdown right there. I'm probably not going to get one to end this first half since all we've been doing is passing, and most of the time I can't even run a route like on this 4th and 6. We should get at least a field goal out of this, but maybe even more. I'm going to catch the ball right here and then break a couple tackles, setting us up on the 10-yard line, but we have to hike the ball quick, and they could also get us a tutty, but it's an interception instead. I don't know what else I could have done there. I was calling for the ball, and here in the 3rd quarter, our defense has held them again, but they're doing a pretty good job on Barry Sanders right now, and we don't get it out. It is very concerning that we can't pull away from the Bears, because next week Oklahoma is going to give us so many issues, and their defense is just really quick. 86 yards in the 3rd quarter is probably the lowest I've had, and if we don't pick up this 3rd and 5, we're going to have to punt it again. If it wasn't for whatever goes on the other side of the ball, we would not be as good as we are. We would not be competing for a spot in the BCS National Championship. This is a decent return though, and that's a pretty solid way to end the 3rd quarter. If we can just take a 2-possession lead, I really don't see them catching us and coming back. So we just need about 10 more yards to be in field goal range now, and that left side of the field is so open, but the blocks don't pick up. I'm actually a little bit concerned how much we have struggled versus the Bears. At least I can catch things out of the backfield, but I'm not going to get the rushing yards that I needed in this game either because of their D. On 3rd and 12, we're going with the halfback screen, and they swat it down. So we have no choice but to settle for a field goal, and they scored a touchdown pretty quick, plus got the 2-pointer. Since they have all 3 of their timeouts left, they did kick it deep to us, which could help out in the future. Barry Sanders might just break off a run, and he has broken his own record with that one play just by a yard. I figured at some point in this game we were going to break our season rushing yards challenge, but I thought it would come a lot sooner than with a couple minutes left in the 4th quarter, and he has been so close to having a couple of huge touchdown plays. At some point they're going to have to start using their timeouts, and it'll probably come after this play, so that makes it 3rd and 2. I'm open in the flat, but we sling it deep, and it's out of bounds. At least we have the option to go for it though, and with the halfback dive, Barry Sanders is going to pick it up and stay in bounds. So you would think that that would pretty much just seal the game for us, but that is not the case. I can't turn on chew clock, so we're not going to be able to run through the rest of it, and we have to punch it in or else it's just going to be a 6-point game. It's nuts to me how quick they're snapping the ball. We're losing yards, and on 3rd and goal, let's just hope that I'm able to make this catch and get in. That is what we needed right there. That single-handedly made sure that we got out of here with a win, but for the first time, I didn't have a single rushing touchdown, so I still need to pick up 4 more. I don't think I've ever seen the Heisman race be all halfbacks either. That's how you know this game is from 2014, and Florida State was able to take down Florida, so they're still undefeated, but we are ranked above them. I'm very worried though that the game doesn't have a Big 12 championship coded into it, but if it does, we're about to have to play the Bedlam game twice, and I knew Barry Sanders set a lot of records, but I didn't know he did 25 in 1 year. The one thing that we do have going for us is this is a home game, but if we just have bad play calls like halfback draws, we're probably not going to come out on top, and they have got to hit me in the flat here, which they did. Honestly, we're at the point in the video where if there's a passing play that works, we should probably spam that too, but they don't hit me every time. They got 8 guys down here in the box, and if I could just get it to the outside, I might be gone with Barry Sanders because of his speed. It is ridiculous that they're still able to catch him. He is so quick, and we keep having to run the read option, but this time they didn't bite. I think this is 4-down territory for us, but I'm going to get open, and I was wrong. We're going to kick the field goal. I couldn't hook up with Alan Bowman, so we had to rely on our defense, and they gave up 7 points to Dylan Gabriel in Oklahoma. This is last year's roster, so that's why he's still their QB, and we got an inside zone play call, so we are just going to have to hope that it works out in our favor, and that is exactly what does. We have the same play call again too. I didn't even hurry it up, but maybe I should, so that's what we're going to do for the remainder of this drive, and we are going to get around everybody. We can't afford to make mistakes now. Anything that they're going to give us, I have to take respectfully, and Barry Sanders is almost out of stamina on this return already, so they made me take a play off. Now it's 2nd and 6, and we almost threw a pick. I don't think we can rely on Alan Bowman through the air, as he almost did it again, and since that made our last drive stall out so quickly, maybe I shouldn't use all of Barry Sanders' stamina on this return, but if we have a chance to put us in good positioning, it's kind of worth the risk, and this play call gets us like 5 or 6. Sometimes it's just way too crowded up the middle. That's why I like to bounce it to the outside, and we've done a decent job of getting Ollie Gordon some touches as well. I don't know where he's at. That was literally supposed to be a fullback handoff up the middle. We might be able to get out of here though. Come on. And you know that we have to stay in hurry up mode after seeing an inside zone. This is almost a guarantee that we're going to score another touchdown, which would be really nice, and we came so close on that last play, but we'll do it here. I gotta say, this is a really good start, but they've scored again, kicking it back to us with a minute left in the 2nd quarter, and that's the issue. Their offense is really good. We're going to struggle against them, but this is a great return from me, and for just a split second, I thought we had them there, but it turns out we didn't. That would have been an amazing way to end this first half. Instead, I don't know where Alan Bowman's throwing, but I don't even get to be out there for this crucial 3rd and 3 that we are going to pick up. There's about 40 seconds left in the half by the time that I'm in the game again, and I wasn't even calling for the ball there, but I'll definitely take it if we're going to have a chance to catch it. I really need Alan Bowman to find one of our wide receivers open. I see it down the field, but he keeps sailing it. And on 3rd and 10, it might be time for me to start spam calling for the ball again, but I didn't get it. It's fine though. We're still ending the first half up 20-14. And I figured they'd score to start the 3rd quarter, but it's not the end of the world. We have come close to getting some of these kick returns to work out for us, and that might just be the case here. I did the juke move at the right time, and that is what I needed to see out of Barry Sanders. I've been waiting to get excited for a kick return for a while, and just like that, we have responded back to the Sooners. They might be able to get a field goal unless I somehow was able to block it, but by now they should fear me returning the ball, and there's basically just a quarter left of football. That is not much. I got the exact run I wanted on this play too. It is inside zone again, but there's only 16 seconds left in the quarter, so we can't stay hurrying it up forever, and that means this is the final time I'm going to get a chance to do something with it. But what was I thinking? I don't know why I tried to take that one to the outside, but now it's 3rd and 4. The pressure is on, and I'm just going to have to truck this guy. That did not work how I thought it would, but I did hurry it up because I felt like we could take advantage of this, and I think that was the smart decision. I did not want to have to punt it back to Oklahoma. The pressure's starting to build. There's only 4.5 minutes left now, and if we could just make it to the end zone, we'd be in a great position. The wide trap run has gotten us like 30 yards on this drive at this point, and we still need a few more rushing touchdowns too, so we're going to stay in it. It was nice to see Barry Sanders finally run over a linebacker, and he picked a good day to start going off. Oklahoma scored almost immediately, making it 35-30. I figured they'd probably do that. Again, I was worried about their offense going into this one, but we have a chance at another kick return, and that was it right there. That literally could have been it. Now we have to run out the rest of the clock, and there's a chance they could always hold us. As it's 3rd and 15, I changed the play call to a 5-wide one, which means I'm not even out there on the field, and I highly doubt we're going to pick this up, but we'll see what happens. And we actually made the catch. I promise, if we win this game, I'll never say anything bad about Alan Bowman again. And here we go. I am set up to get my 39th rushing touchdown of the season. I thought I had it there, but this one I'm taking up the middle. And after getting a defensive stop, this game is completely over. I'm also breaking a tackle, and I can even get around number 12 too. I still can't believe in real life that the Bedlam series is going to be discontinued. This is always such a good matchup. And just because I can, I am going for my 5th touchdown of the day. We're only like 5 yards out, so we might as well just stay in hurry mode, and Barry Sanders breaks a tackle. So what an ending to one of the best games that we've played all year, and I hope we don't have to play the Sooners again. Barry Sanders obviously went off with this insane stat line, and it took 12 games, but we've had a better season in college than he did. All that's left now is win a Heisman Trophy and win a national championship. But like I thought, the Big 12 doesn't have a conference championship. So even though we're the #1 team, if Florida State and Ohio State win, that could make them jump us. It would be a shame to not put Barry Sanders in the championship, who almost doubled what Ray Davis did, but there's always the chance of that happening, and with 40 rushing touchdowns and 5 receiving touchdowns, that's more TDs than probably any quarterback put up this year. Advancing the week, I do see the logo right there on the bowl season, so I'm hoping we made the championship, and I can't believe that Barry Sanders didn't get every single first place vote. He won the Jet Award for the best returner as well, so I think I might have just gotten the most awards that I've ever gotten with one player in a season at 5. And let's see his returning stats. He had 2 return touchdowns on the kick return side of things, and punt return he had 1. By now we should probably just feel bad for Florida State fans though, because they've been snubbed from something again, with Ohio State and us making it over them. And we could actually complete all 6 challenges in this video. A couple of these were close calls, but we have gotten ourselves into the national championship. And here we go. We are playing this one in the Rose Bowl. I don't love that we have to start with the ball, but we'll see what happens. And it is already 3rd and 7 where I'm open in the flat with the halfback screen, and we should be able to pick this up. He's going to break that tackle, and Barry Sanders is making a name for himself. Even on Heisman difficulty, he makes some incredible plays in this video, and I have no clue how he was able to stay up from that. Kyle McCord would drive the Buckeyes down the field though, so now we're getting it back tied up at 7-7, and I feel like we could pull off this return if I just got a couple of blocks. But even though I didn't, we should still have success. He is breaking like every tackle, and it's just a shame that I know some of these plays are not going to work the way that I need them to, but we made something out of it. I really don't like running halfback sweeps in this game, and normally they don't pay off for us, but this time it did. So what a first quarter so far in this championship. We should have gotten some better blocks on this play though, and I can't believe we still got 25. There is so much on the line, but we have showed up so far, and this run is going to be a halfback draw, which is going to hurt us. We've had success on one halfback screen though, so I was hoping that we could do it again, and that really stinks that we just have to watch our kicker kick a field goal. To my surprise though, our defense would hold the Buckeyes, so now we have it back 10-7, and this is going to be a very solid return from Barry Sanders, flipping the sides of the field on him. But if there's anything on my mind, it's making sure that this is the final drive of the first half, and I'm not sure sure if it's going to be possible or not, but I feel like it should be unless we bust off a big run like we're going to do right here, and there we go. I mean, I can't complain about that. We can just trust our D. An inside zone should take us all the way into the end zone. I'm really excited to do this same type of stuff on College Football 25 as well. And let's just go ahead and get the touchdown here. I figured that this national championship was going to be super close, but our defense held them again. So now we have an opportunity to put up even more points before the end of the half. And I couldn't tell if that last play was going to result in an interception, but it didn't. Plus we keep getting out of bounds, which sets ourselves up very nicely. I wish I had the ability to run a route here, but I've been having to block for a bit. And now Alan Bowman's starting to make dumb decisions. All I want out of this drive is a field goal, but he needed to get that ball out. And I did not mean to hurry it up there, but I'm wide open and he went to somebody else who still gets it. Okay, from here, as long as he doesn't take a sack, we're going to be just fine. And I'm hoping if we can just pick up a couple more yards, we're going to attempt the field goal, but I think I just fumbled it away to the Buckeyes. So that was not the way that I wanted to end that first half. But Ohio State can barely score, so it really doesn't matter. And what am I doing? This is one of those times where you just accept that you're not going to pick up the 3rd and long unless Barry Sanders can somehow just make the play of the game and he just spun out a defender too. There is something about the back juke on this game that just throws all defenders in for a loop and he is going off. This is literally the drive that could win us a national championship. And I want to attempt this one time. We're going to do an instant back juke on the play. Alan Bowman doesn't make the block. So we only got a few yards, but I'm still feeling pretty good about all this. We are very quick with him. And subbing out the one player that's gotten you all of your success in this game on a huge 3rd and 3 was a bold move. Eventually, we'd get back out there though, and this is going to take us to the 5. So I think we're about to seal this video on one of the hardest things I've ever done. But this has been a ride and I needed to accomplish this before we went ahead and played the new game. In the end, Ohio State would only get one more touchdown, so we would win this game by 10 points. And we actually got Oklahoma State a national championship. Poor Kyle McCord looks so sad, but he's going to Syracuse anyway. And Barry Sanders' final stat line looked like this. He should be the one that's putting this trophy in his hands the way he carried us to this point. And I thought for sure I was giving away another copy of College Football 25. Don't worry, there will still be plenty of them to go around, and this is what his final season stats look like. But that's going to wrap up the final time that I get to play Heisman mode on NCAA Football, since it won't be in the new game.